We continue talking about vocabulary, teaching vocabulary, and these are some activities or different activity types. Gap fill is one of the vocabulary activities. When you give the students words to fill in the gaps, or word association, you link words by meaning or category. Word formation, practice prefix and suffixes. Role play, use target vocabulary in context. For example, at the supermarket, the customer and cashier, and so on. So these are different types of activity types of vocabulary activity types. So you need to practice them with the students. So how do you assess vocabulary knowledge? By recognition. The students, you make sure that the students recognize the word and then they can produce it or use it. This is production. And contextual understanding, and the students can understand words in context. So it is very important to assess the students' knowledge of the vocabulary. So make sure of this. These are different activities, types of activities, and these are how you assess the knowledge of the vocabulary. And then you can do these activities. Now we come to teaching pronunciation. It's very important for a teacher to demonstrate a very good model of pronunciation for his or her students. This is very important. So this is why pronunciation is very important. So as a teacher, you have to check your pronunciation every now and then. You have to make sure that you pronounce the words correctly, and even the intonation, the rhythm, and all this connected to speech. You have to think about them as a teacher. So you as English language students, you come across phonology and phonetics, so you need to make use of all these courses to improve your pronunciation, because you represent a good model for your students when you speak and when you pronounce the words correctly. Make sure this is very important for a teacher before he starts teaching pronunciation. And there is no what we can call a separate section in the class for teaching pronunciation. It's a kind of a demonstration of a good model for your students when you pronounce, or when you make sure that as a teacher that your pronunciation is quite correct and effective for the students, and it looks like semi of not native. So this is why pronunciation is critical for intelligibility and effective communication. So what are the key points of this? Correct pronunciation improves listening comprehension. It builds learner confidence in speaking when the students pronounce the words correctly, or see you that as a teacher your pronunciation is okay for them. This is create learner confidence. Pronunciation is linked to fluency, rhythm, and naturalness. You speak naturally. You make use of all the segmental aspects, or phonetic speeches that you came across in your study, so that they will help you to improve your pronunciation as a teacher, and then you reflect or you demonstrate, as I keep saying, a good model for your students. So you need to go through these phonemes, word stress, sentence stress, intonation, connected speech, so that you can improve your pronunciation as a teacher, because these are the components of pronunciation. You have to check these components as a teacher, so that you can improve your students' pronunciation. What are the strategies of teaching pronunciation? Listening and imitation. You listen to native pronunciation and repeat, and then you focus on sound, stress, and rhythm. For example, the teacher reads, she sells seashells by the seashore. Focus on sounds and shape. The second strategy is minimal bursts. So you give like different words which differ by only one sound. And these are some activities. The third one is stress and rhythm drills. And then these are some activities. And then intonation practice. Use visual and auditory tools. You listen to different recording or charts. Drills are repetition, and all these are activities. Classroom activities for pronunciation, choral repetition, the students repeating chorus, individual practice, stress marking, intonation drills, tongue twisters, recording and playback. All these are different types of classroom activities for pronunciation. What are the challenges of the common pronunciation for the learners? constant and sound, we have to check them, where is stress, error, sentence stress and intonation. For sure I'm going to teach the students all these things directly because they are not university maybe students, but you need to demonstrate them for them, and then by then the students will understand spontaneously what's meant by each practically. How do you assess pronunciation? Observation during speaking, and then have a checklist. Recording and playback. Peer assessment. Students assess each other. Minimal pairs test. Assess specific sound dictionary distinctions. And then you can do these activities about teaching pronunciation. For teaching speaking, listening and speaking, for listening and speaking, this is very important. Listening. Because listening is the foundation for language acquisition. Learners understand vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciations through listening. And effective listening enhances speaking, reading, and writing skills. So, what are the challenges in listening for learners? Fast speech and connected speech. This is when people speak fast, and the connected speech like assimilation and all these things you come across in phonology too. Unfamiliar vocabulary or accents. Predicting meaning in context, distinguishing main ideas and details, anxiety or lack of motivation. What are the strategies of teaching listening? Pre-teaching, pre-listening, before listening. You activate prior knowledge of the students by giving them, some hints about it, vocabulary, and then predict content or context. This is before listening. And then while listening, they have to make sure that, example, if you're listening to a text about a trip to the zoo, what animals might we see? What will people? You prepare the students for that by giving them these pre-listening exercises or activities. While listening, focus on listening for gist, main idea, and then not taking, marching, for listening for details on specific information, and then true false statement, marching, take noting, or note taking. You play an audio about daily routines. Students fill a table of activities and times. Personally, after listening, post-listening, check comprehension and encourage students speaking and discussion. Activities summarize, answer questions or role play and all these activities. Now do this activity. After listening to a story, what are the characters? What problem occurred? What was the solution? This after listening. What are the classroom activities for listening? Predicting, listening for gist, listening for details, not taking true false. Okay? So the assessment for listening, you give them multiple choice or matching task, gap fill exercises based on audio, short answers, questions on many main ideas, observation of participation in discussion after listening. This is the end of our lecture today. Next time, inshallah, we are going to continue. Thank you very much and see you next lecture.